Hi, I want to ask you a question, and the question is, do you look at probability or the chances of an event happening before you place your trade? I've got to admit, I probably didn't, and when I put the sheet together using BetAngel, I realised that some of the mistakes I made in the past, because I didn't want to lose money, I was afraid to stop the bet just in case it came in. And when I put this sheet together, I realised that maybe I lost a lot more money than I should have done by not stopping a bet, by not taking a small loss. What do I mean by that? Well, I put three sheets together, as you can see on the screen. Over 1.5, 2.5 and 3.5 goals. That's the main markets, main looking at in the English Premier League, etc. You don't normally get matches with more than 4 goals in the game. So what does this tell me? Well, if you look at this one first, of 1.5 goals, the top green line that you can see is the no goals. If no goals are scored by the 70th minute, what it's saying is there's an 18% chance of 1.5 goals not hitting. If a goal is scored by the 70th minute, then you have a 53% chance of that bet hitting, which is good odds. It's half, you're looking at half and half. On the other plan to that, if no goals are scored by the 70th minute, what it's saying is walk away, because there's only an 18% chance of that market being successful, of you getting your 2 goals in the game. If 1 goal's only been scored by the 80th minute, then the chances are you've got a 35% chance of it happening. As I said, there's plenty of last minute goals, and then that's up to you then whether you decide to stay on or not. That's the borderline, I would say. Definitely 90 minutes, you've got basically 90% chance. So basically that's saying that no goals are scored, or not many goals scored in the last 10 minutes or last dregs of the game. So it gets you thinking, okay, so if I have 1 goal, if I put a bet on, you're ideally looking, if no goals are scored, you'll be looking really at, or if 1 goal's being scored, sorry, you're looking at maybe putting that bet on around about the 70th minute mark if you're coming into it at half time or so, for instance. If no goals are scored, yeah, you'd be looking at the 40th minute, around about half time maybe, looking at the odds. Again, depends on your preference, but for me I'd be looking at the 40th, 50th mark, because that's when the odds are looking quite tasty at 2.39. But then you're looking at being in the market for 20 minutes unless a goal is scored. So again, it depends on what angle you go for, but as you can see, the probability, and it's not rocket science. I mean, there's only 2 things that affect football matches, and that's goals and time. So the longer the game goes without a goal, the less chance you are of reaching your success, whether it's over 1.5, 2.5, 3.5 goals. And that's common sense. But to actually see it written down on paper, actually see it as it is, kind of brings home to you, because if it's not seen, or you don't really read it, or you can't visualize it, then it's hard to put that into your mind, especially when it comes to trading. Let's look at the next one, which is 2.5 goal markets. So what this is saying, if no goals have been scored by the 20th minute mark, obviously you've got a 39% chance of 3 goals happening in the market. If 1 goal scored by the 30th minute mark, then you've got a 66.8% chance of it happening. I would say I'd probably colour this red a bit, but I would probably go, maybe if I was looking at it, I would probably definitely go possibly here. If 1 goal is scored by that time, then yeah, you've got a great chance of 2 more goals being scored in the last 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes. Okay. But if only 1 goal is being scored by the 60th minute, then you're really looking for another 2-3 goals to happen before you can actually get any money at the market. 2 goals, if it has been 2 goals scored by the 70th minute mark, you've got a 56% chance of it happening. Obviously, in the last 10 minutes of the game, then that was going to dwindle, and that's what I call preferential. Depends on if you're happy for that bet to go ahead with only 37.7% chance of a goal happening, of your market becoming successful in the last 10 minutes. But remember, you are probably looking for 1 goal, so that's totally up to you. But looking at this and looking at the rules that you would set, I would definitely set anything that's probably below 40%. it then becomes a risk for me personally, but that's up to you guys on how you perceive that. So how many times have I bet on the 2.5 goals market? And I've got 2 goals by the 70th minute. I'm normally looking for 1 goal. Without realising the probability of that actually happening, I've gone into the end and maybe lost my stake. And trust me, it's happened a few times, where, especially on any market, where you're looking for 1 goal in the last 10 minutes. Yeah, it could happen. If I come out and I've lost all that potential money I'm going to get, well, actually, you've only got a 37% chance of a goal, of your market becoming successful, of you getting that next goal to bring the money home. Brings it home, doesn't it? 3.5 goals. Now, this is a strat. I've said it's just a backup strat, because how many times do you get 4 goals in a game? Unless a rampant Man City or a rampant Liverpool are playing, maybe Chelsea are on form, and they're playing a team that concede lots of goals. But there's not very often a team will score 4 goals in a game. And what I'm basically saying here is, if you're looking at the goals in the first 10 minutes, the market's dead. Don't bother, because you're ideally looking for 4 goals in a game, and if there's nothing happening in 10 minutes, chances are there won't be a goal in that game. If you get a goal within inside the first 30 minutes, then what that's saying is, yeah, okay, I've probably gone a bit too broad on this one, because I'm saying 40%. So if I was saying yeah, I would probably put this on as red as well, if I'm honest. So ideally looking for a goal, looking at the probability odds, you're looking at a goal inside the first 20 minutes. And then if you get 2 goals inside the first 50 minutes, then the probability are, again, looking at 41%. So that's narrow, that's basic borderline, that's the limit where you go to. After that, your chances are dwindling quite fast. And if you look, you've got 3 goals inside the first 70 minutes, yeah, you've got 53% chance of it happening otherwise, and after that your chances are dwindling quite fast. If you've only got 2 goals by the 80th minute, it doesn't happen. It won't happen. Okay, so just take, I don't have to obviously memorize this and etc. It's just something I thought I'd put out there. But it's worth noting that the longer the match goes, that goal, the probability or the chances of that market happening and becoming successful are going to be dwindling, and it's interesting to know when that point is. Obviously I've gone through BetAngel for this, and there's a wonderful site. Definitely recommend you joining it, but there's that, it's just when does that cut off happen, and that's what intrigued me most. Obviously with your 3.5 goals market, that is definitely a market you put on in play. There's no way would you put that on blind, because looking at that, the probability of it happening is 29% in the first 10 minutes if you don't get a goal. So let us know what you think. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.